Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Completely different topic today, as I'm going to dive into the time in history when I spent about $300 on a Forex trading course. So a few years back, I decided to bite the bullet and invest in a Forex trading course. Okay, so I did this for two reasons. One was that I had a bit of cash to spare, and then two was that I was seeing a lot of people having success with Forex, and I also followed some guy who really seemed like he was a real deal. You know, he had a really good backlog of evidence, people who got good results with his training, and things like that. So all in all, it looked like a good idea. So before I invested into the course, you know, I thought to myself, like any logical person would do, hey, can I do this by myself? You know, can I just maybe watch some YouTube videos, I'll look at some trainings, I'll maybe open a demo trading account where I'm able to trade without real money, you know, it's just fake money to kind of get my practice up. Decided I'd do that, and ultimately, even when I watched loads of trainings, watched loads of YouTube videos and did all of that, I still had absolutely no idea what I was doing. So again, I kept seeing information coming from this guy. I followed him on Twitter, then I saw some ads coming from him as well, and again, he did seem like he knew what he was doing. He had been doing it for a long time, and he had a ton of students who were getting really good success with his program. And even to this day, I do still think that this guy is very much legit. And I'm not saying his training is bad, but I definitely did not get $300 worth of value out of the course. So before we go any further, let me just give you a little bit of a backdrop on what Forex is, how it works, and all of that in case you've never heard of it before. So it's basically trading currencies online, and the biggest thing I see nowadays is that tons of people are advertising that, you know, they're getting good results with Forex and that you could copy their trades, or that they're just going to teach you how to do it. Now, the biggest problem I see with Forex is that banks and institutional investors are the majority of people who actually trade Forex. Okay, so when you enter into trades and you're trading currencies, you're essentially trading against banks. There's plenty of reports out there showing that roughly 96% of traders lose money. So that means you've got to be in the top 4% to even make any money. And, you know, from my logic, I would imagine that that top 4% is pretty much just going to be the banks and the institutional investors, because those are the people who have tons of capital to research all of the trading techniques and all of that. But also they have tons of like software and algorithms which can really just help them outsmart anybody else. So that's why I'm always very, very skeptical about Forex trading, especially when you see a guru talking about it, because you're trading against a bank. Like, you know, I think it's pretty common sense that if the banks are trading these big currencies, it's going to be extremely hard for you as a newbie to come in and beat them. But anyway, look, I'm not saying that you can't make money with Forex, and I've definitely heard from a lot of people who say that they make money from it, so I imagine you can. But ultimately, what happened in my case was I got dubbed into buying this course without knowing the basics, right? So I didn't know the fundamentals of how to trade currencies. I didn't even know how to open up a brokerage account. And I really, like I said, I watched YouTube videos, I watched a ton of trainings, and I still didn't really know what it was all about. And the problem there was that I then purchased a course which would be suitable probably for someone who actually needed the fundamentals. You know, they knew the basics, but they wanted to get the advanced strategies, whereas I didn't even know the basics. So it was an absolute nightmare for me going into that. This comes down to basically any business model. If you're looking at drop shipping, Forex, or even SMMA or social media marketing, like, you've got to know the basics first. You can't expect to buy a course and get taught everything from literally the beginning all the way to the end. And obviously with some courses you could go in blind and not know a thing, but ultimately what happened to me was I didn't know anything. So I would say about 3 lessons in, they started talking about a brokerage account, and I didn't even have one, and I didn't know how to set one up, and they had no guidance on how to set one up. So ultimately I was just like, well, what do I do now? I can't progress because I don't even have this first step covered. So as I was saying, that applies to any course. If you're looking at a dropshipping course or an SMMA course, you've got to know the basics first, and you've got to know the fundamentals, right? So if you're looking at social media marketing, like, you've got to know like what it actually is, like the examples of services you can provide, examples of industries that you can target. Because if you don't know those things and you jump into a course, the course is probably going to teach you more advanced strategies on how you can sign more clients and how you can scale up and build your team. But you need to have those fundamentals first. So like, I always believe that courses can be extremely valuable, and I'm definitely going to be launching a course myself, right? So I fully believe in the fact that courses can be really valuable, but you have to have a bit of an understanding first before going into the course, right? So if you're out there and you want to be buying into the course I launch in the future, you know, make sure you know the basics first, know the fundamentals, and when you know them, and then say, for example, you know them, but you're struggling to get your first client, then maybe look at a course. So to come back to the whole story of Forex, like I was saying, my biggest problem with Forex gurus is the fact that you are trading against banks and institutional investors. I think it's pretty logical to think that, hey, like, how am I going to beat them? Like, realistically, is this guy Jack, who's from, you know, the UK, and he has a Lamborghini and he's 22, is he going to be able to teach me, like someone who knows absolutely nothing about it, how to beat the banks? Probably not. So basically, I spent about $300 on a course. I didn't really know the basics, so I was sold on the fact that it could make me a lot of money, but I didn't look into the fundamentals, right? I didn't know how to do those basic things. And I feel like that's definitely something that could have been done better from the person who was selling the course, explaining that, you know, this is not for beginners, this is not for people who don't know anything about it, but this is for people who know about it but are struggling to actually see results. So I spent $300. I spent a few hours on the first few lessons, and then I got to a lesson where I realized I didn't have a clue what they were talking about. I didn't even have a brokerage account set up, had no guidance on how to set one up. Any guidance they did give, which was like examples of sites you could sign up on, didn't work, and most of them were closed for people in Ireland. So I just couldn't start. So I'm not going to go ahead and say whose course this was, or like even show you inside it, because to be honest, this was years ago and I don't even know if I can log in anymore. I definitely tried 1 or 2 years ago and the site was completely gone. Like the website was just vanished. So yeah, I probably can't even get in. But again, the point of this is that I don't think the course was at fault. It was that I just didn't know anything going into it. So maybe, you know, maybe it should be more on the person who's selling the course to disqualify you, you know, and make sure that if you're a beginner, this is probably not for you right now, but maybe when you get a little bit more advanced, you could try it out. So I think there's kind of two things at play, right? One, I didn't know enough before joining, and two, I was kind of sold that I could start as a beginner, but everything in there was a lot more advanced for me to start off with, and ultimately I just couldn't get past the first few lessons. So if you are thinking of investing into a course, like I said, whether it is Forex, SMMA, dropshipping, or anything else out there, make sure you know the fundamentals first and you understand those, and you've at least tried something. Okay, so if it's SMMA, at least you've tried to start getting clients, or you've sent some DMs, you've sent some emails to businesses. Make sure you've tried something, you know how the process works, because the course is going to help you get over that. It's not going to be able to take you from a complete beginner who knows absolutely nothing about it to, you know, having a 6-figure business in 30 days. Also guys, make sure you like the video for the new little light that I've added to the collection here. I think it adds a nice little vibe to the scene, and I've also got this new little cactus here. So yeah, really upgrading the setup lately, as you can tell. And if you're new to the channel, definitely hit the subscribe button, and yeah, stick around for future videos. And yeah, that is the story, right? That is, you know, what happened when I invested $300 into a Forex trading course, and a little bit of my insights on courses and how you can make the most. So I'm going to wrap up that rant of a video right there. And again, hit the subscribe button if you're new, smash the like button for the new little lamp we've got here, and I will see you in the next video.